Hey, welcome back. It's John Myers. Yep, it's been a while since I made a video. I've been super fun, having busy, a little bit sick too, doing stuff with the fam, and finishing up a great year at work, and just a great year of learning and helping out with some different projects. I am the guy who self-identifies as a sober Christian deadhead who leads a worship band. We're going to talk about that. And is really interested in a lot of other stuff too, and does a lot of studying on investing. This is going to be an interesting talk. Tonight's going to be about crypto. But first, let me say that I've been in bands and led bands probably over 1,000 different sets. That's a lot of playing publicly. And last night, I put together a last-minute band for a friend's wedding, and got whoever could play on the 23rd of December, which was hard to find, and showed up at the appointed place, which was a church. And we had a couple practices before we got there. And I'm just going to say this, and I want to make sure I say it the right way. I've played over 1,000 sets of music publicly in my long career of public playing. That's actually been about 15 years of publicly playing. And last night was the worst musical event of my life, of my wife's career and my career. It was awful. It was worship music, so the Lord liked it. The congregation sang, but I take personal responsibility for what happened last night. We tried to go on a stage we'd never been on without using what's called in-ears. We had no stage monitors, and we had nothing mixed in our ears. So all the wavefront on the speakers were outside our hearing. It was towards the congregation. The only thing I could hear was the stage had a subwoofer below it. And so when I hit a bass note, I felt it in my feet, but I couldn't hear any of the high portions. I couldn't hear my mid-ranges, my highs, nothing. All I could do was what I could feel. It's the first time I've ever played. It was like being partially blind, or maybe blind. But I wasn't the only one. The rest of my band had the same experience. They couldn't hear anything. And we were all over the place musically. Our beats were off. We're way better than that. And this was not my A team, right? But some of the members were. But it could not have come together any worse. I hope that the bride and groom were okay with that. A little embarrassing, but guess who takes the main responsibilities? I will never take a band together ever again without having either stage monitors, which I've used lots of, or having what's called the in-ear system, so everybody can individually mix all the other musicians. We have iPads and everything. You can mix like the guitar in my ears, the bass, the drums, the kick drum, the hi-hat, the organ, the keys, the voices. We have that ability to actually do that, and I chose to forego that. And boy, what a mistake that was. So anyways, after all these years of playing, chalk one up, man. Had a horrible time. It happened. We found out that we lived through it. So yeah, okay. Anyways, that's cleared up. Now, we'll talk about crypto, but first, one more thing. Tomorrow is the celebration of the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ. And I know some people I've talked to that, that's just a co-opted holiday. It used to represent some other pagan holiday. I don't care what it represented before. We celebrate the birth of Christ, whether it was in the summer he was born or December 25th, whatever. It's the imagery that we see in the Word about what took place, the majesty of the event. You think about that, if you listen to the Christmas carols carefully, those angels were out there with the shepherds. The shepherds were scared to freaking death. They're like the hair standing on end. They're like, what is going on? And the angel says, do not be afraid, because the angel knew. If you or I were out walking around at night and suddenly, boom, an angel appeared, our hair would stand, my hair is standing right now just thinking about it. And there was a lot that went on that night, right? There was a star in the sky, and it might have been traveling for even a few weeks, who knows? But it rested over the area in Bethlehem where Jesus was born. And it was interesting because it was a very lowly birth. But the wise men, there might have been some wise women in there too. Who knows? Back then they didn't count everybody, but they knew. Now this is what's so interesting is those guys had the Main Street media, and the government and everything, and of their day telling them how to live, what's going on, and these wise men, magi, actually saw through that veil and saw the star, and they had known about a prediction about the coming king, and they wanted to meet that person. And so they traveled at great expense and time, and they brought gifts. It was a big deal. They were prepared for that event. What an amazing situation. Can you imagine when we see a manger scene? Just really think about what that was, how that came about. And Joseph and Mary were there, and just the impact it would have had on Mary holding baby Jesus in her arms and looking at him, looking down, giving birth to the one that would give birth to her salvation. Just all that happening. What an amazing time. It was truly what I call a decentralized event. And if you look back at my previous videos about decentralization, Jesus Christ was the most decentralized figure in the history of the world. He was not of any government. He was not promoted by any corporation. There was not a bunch of money behind Jesus. He was not under the control of any government or person. He was the most decentralized figure in the history of the world. And the event and the birth of Jesus Christ was a sign of the greatest decentralized event, decentralization, which is freedom for all men and women. Segueing into crypto, which is to be understood tonight, because crypto is the most decentralized form of currency that is on the planet currently, pretty much viable. I like gold and silver, but you ever tried to go down to Walmart or go to Starbucks and turn a little gold or silver and get the coffee, or buy something at Whole Foods or Sprouts or your favorite grocery store or Kohl's with gold and silver? It is a great store of wealth, but it is not something that's transactional. The idea of crypto was that it would be a decentralized, non-controlled, verifiable blockchain event that was able to be verified, and it could be exchanged from peer to peer, from person to person. Uber was considered a Lyft, peer to peer, right? Even though it's controlled by Lyft and Uber, it's not truly peer to peer, right? But crypto in its inception, Satoshi, when he formed it, was to give people a way of doing things in a freedom. Now, I want you to take something out of your mind right now, because I had to. Some of the things we hear, it's fraudulent, or there's fraud, or there's the dark web. Hey, there's that with cash too, okay? There's that with everything. So just know that's called human nature. We all have it. That's why Christ came, to help us overcome our human nature. Okay, now, there's also good in people, and there's good in crypto. So don't be fooled. Learn about what crypto is. I'm going to talk tonight about some of the things about crypto. And by the way, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not a member of any group. I would never ask for your money for crypto. If you ever see that down below in the description or anything, or comments, I do not want your money. I have no use for yours. That's not what this is about. This is about education for you. So crypto, for those of you who don't know, is a much ballyhooed and banged about word, but it's basically about blockchain transactions. And blockchains are these series of calculations, they're all set up differently. They take multiple computers to transact and solve and prove. It's called proof of work, okay, or proof of transaction. In like Visa, MasterCard right now, it's through them, and it's not a blockchain right now. It's just like, yeah, okay, that's the guy, we know him, here's the money, blah, blah, blah. Blockchain is like, whoa, there's something going on, and we're going to prove to you that it's real. And here's all these different computers verifying that this is a real transaction, and boom, it's going to happen because it's real. Okay, it follows an algo or an algorithm that's encrypted. So Bitcoin, as Johnny Bravo calls it, my friend Johnny Bravo, Bitcoin is the most famous. It's also, kind of explain it like this. It's the absolute slowest one in the world to transact on. And it's expensive too. So if you want to send $10 with Bitcoin, it's not really worth doing, especially if you need to go right away. It's going to take 30 minutes. It's going to have a high cost of it. It's kind of clumsy, but it's really, really accurate. And you can send large amounts of money with it. You can send millions of dollars with it, and it can be verified. It would be millions of course, a lot of crypto, a lot of Bitcoin, but you could convert it back to dollars. Now, down from Bitcoin are a lot of what we call altcoins. All the coins have different uses. There's one out right now called Fartcoin. I don't know anything about it, but I'm not sure about the use of Fartcoin. But I can tell you that there's a lot of really valuable ones, and here's why. And by the way, you better get used to what I'm talking about because it is here to stay. It's not going away anytime soon, and it's being used for various really legitimate purposes for a reason. It's called tokenization of assets. So when you have an altcoin, people form the coin, they get people to buy into it. What is that coin about? That you need to learn what is the purpose of that coin. Now, there's some coins that are absolutely worthless, don't mean a thing. They're like fancy pictures. Ooh, okay. That's not something I'm interested in. I'm interested in the coins that are actually working scientifically to do something. One of those amazing coins out right now is XRP. Why XRP? So much talked about in the news. Just Google it. XRP or Ripple, which owns the XRP coin, is a blockchain that settles very quickly and very accurately and can be used for day-to-day transactions. Are you following me? So let's say that you, as an example, if you wanted to use XRP someday soon, you could have maybe an XRP card, right? You can go in and if it's a place that accepts it, you wouldn't be waiting for 30 minutes to buy your shirt at Kohl's. You'd be waiting 15 seconds for it to settle, right? It'd settle. It'd like, yes, that's real. The money, the coin's there. Give the guy the shirt, right? That's a use case. That's powerful, all right? And it's encrypted and it's secure and it's like nothing else out there. Believe me, just know this, the banks and the BlackRock, big institutions are looking at those types of altcoins to bring in their digital currency. So in terms of digital currency, you're talking about, you've heard about the central bank digital currency, CBDC, whatever. They've got to settle it somehow. It'll be through a blockchain of some sort, just so you know. It's going to be through one of them or several of them. So if people are investing in something that's going to be used a lot, that has value, that brings simplicity to the world, not complicity, but is elegant in its sophistication, that asset, that coin, that altcoin may go up in value. And I am not telling you to run out and buy Bitcoin or XRP or a bunch of other ones that are out there that through a lot of research look pretty good. But the thing is some of them are going to go way up in value. And you want to learn how to buy these. Now, that's just really quick what I described. And it's not rocket science at the level I described it at. How does the blockchain work in the algorithm? I don't freaking know, but I have friends who mine it, who actually are miners, and you can mine stuff other than Bitcoin. I have one friend who mines Litecoin, and we talk all the time. So let's talk about how crypto's obtained and what you do with it. First of all, there's three things. There's exchanges, there's wallets, and then there's cold storage. So you can go to an exchange like Coinbase, which I'll use as an example. There's even Robinhood, but I'm not really good on. I don't use Robinhood. But now, you don't if you have mutual funds, you don't own the stocks. Everybody knows that, right? I got mutual funds. You don't own them. The mutual company owns the stocks mutually with everybody else. So your name isn't on that stock. They buy the stock for you. So a mutual fund you don't actually own. Now you can decide whether that's a good thing or not. I'm not here to bash stocks, although I think the stock markets are headed for a remarkable correction in 2025. My personal opinion. But remember, whatever goes down goes up again. Whatever goes up goes down. So there's a way to trade that, by the way. So you go to an exchange and you can learn. You buy. Let's say you want to buy Bitcoin. You can buy it. You can buy a little bit of a Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's $98,000 right now. You can buy $50 worth. I don't know if you guys know that. Everybody knows this. I can't buy Bitcoin. It's too expensive. No, it's not. You're buying little Satoshis, they're called. Named after the guy that invented it. So the Bitcoin, there's only so many that can ever be made. And I think there's only 1.5 million left that can be made out of the 21 million or something that started. It's a very long mining algorithm. It's very expensive to mine. It uses a lot of electricity. And it gets harder and harder and harder to mine new Bitcoins as the algorithm goes. I wouldn't be getting involved in that part. But know this, that scarcity is one of the most important things about crypto. There's only so much available. There's only so much Bitcoin that there'll ever be. Okay, so when there's scarcity in something, generally speaking, the price goes up. So Bitcoin could go to the moon. Who knows? Same with XRP. There's scarcity in XRP and a lot of other coins. There's scarcity. Some there's no scarcity, and they just keep making more of it, which, gosh, that's what the government does, printing money. Anyways, so that causes inflation. Exchanges. You can buy and let the exchange hold your crypto. You also can get your own wallet. It's an online wallet. It's an app or it's online. And you have your own signature to get into it. It's a lot more than just a password. It's usually a long key phrase and some other things, and two-factor authentication. The wallet is online, and it's a way of storing your crypto so the exchanges don't have it. You can buy it on an exchange, take it off the exchange, put it in your wallet. Okay, now, the problem with both of those is they're both still online. And because they're both still online, I don't trust online. There's so many ways of, who's getting into. We hear stories all the time about countries and about nefarious players who are breaking codes and causing havoc, and that they have all of our passwords and everything, and that, everybody's compromised. So what I'm going to talk about is the third way to store it, which is called cold storage, which is still a wallet, all right? But it's actually a device you can hold in your hand that's USB that only you can get into. So you can buy it on an exchange, you can hold it in your online wallet, but you can also transfer it to your cold storage wallet. And guess who can get in there? Nobody. It's yours. You're the one who can get in unless you give out your information to somebody, which you never want to do. So cold storage, if you're going to have crypto, you want to be in cold storage ultimately. You say, yeah, what if I want to trade it? Well, then you got to put it back online, do some trading, then bring it right back out and put it on cold storage. You can do that really fast. Okay. So, just know that you don't want to ever be taken. You don't ever give anything to anybody you don't know, and you don't want anyone to take anything away from you. Okay. There's some really good. There's a cold storage device called a Trezor, Trezor, and they're under $200, and they're a great way to store crypto. Now, God's money is still gold and silver. crypto is, I would not put all of your savings. Okay, I've got to be careful because I'm not an investment advisor. Diversify there. Okay, you wouldn't want to put all of your crypto investments in one crypto. You also wouldn't want to put all of your investments in just crypto, right? So, if you have an investment advisor, they're going to tell you, diversify, right? Well, when you diversify with decentralization, that could be gold and silver, that could be crypto, that could be controlling your own stocks, right? Not putting them in a mutual, but actually trading in and out. You can do that day trading. You can do what's called momentum trading, which is learning to read charts and learning to come in and out on a daily basis. Or maybe you stay in a stock for a week, because it doesn't hit where you want, but you invest in all of these things based on what's called momentum. And if you ever talk to the greatest investors, right, they're buying and holding some of them, but they're always also doing this with some of their portfolio. It's called swing trading, and they make money in a bull market. They make money when the stocks go down. They make a lot of money when stocks go down. And there's a number of ways to do that. So it's important to understand what that is and how that works. And there's some great courses out there as I hope to go along and introduce you to some of the best that are out there. I will tell you a couple of great names right here. The Economic Ninja. Go find him on YouTube. Subscribe to the Economic Ninja. He's a personal friend of mine. He has done so much for me personally. He has educated my mind. I have a real appreciation for investing and preserving wealth and conserving wealth and understanding market cycles by subscribing to the Economic Ninja. The other person that I follow is a guy named Jonny Bravo. Look up Jonny Bravo. Both these guys are Christians. One of them I've been to church with. Jonny Bravo's irreverent in a hilarious way, but his heart is absolutely in the right place. And I follow him because his information is hilarious to watch and very, very poignant. And actually, he's over the target most of the time, right? He's right over the target. So that's tonight's talk. It's an important one. I think this is as important as the decentralization talk that I gave a few weeks ago. And if you have any questions, just hit me up in the comments. I'll try to help you. But other than that, it's beginning to look a lot like crypto everywhere I go. Good night. Love you. See you next time.